Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Dr. Bushra Aslam from Physiology Department. Today I will tell you about the basic structure of the eye. This is my first lecture on the eye, and we will study the basic structures of the eye. Here in this slide it shows the basic components of the eye. It shows all the three layers that forms the wall of the eyeball, that are the choroid, retina and the sclera, and in the front it shows the pupil, lens, and here is the cornea. And in the next slides we will study the further details of all the basic structures of the eye. First of all, we will study the eyelids. What are the functions of the eyelids? It protects the eyeball from the foreign particles coming in contact with its surface. It cuts off the light during the sleep. The eyelids can be closed voluntarily as well as reflexively. The margins of the eyelids have sensitive hair cells called cilia. Each cilium has follicle which is surrounded by sensory nerve plexus. What are the function of these plexus? Actually, when dust particles come in contact with the cilia, the nerves are activated and it results in the rapid blinking of the eyelids. Meibomian glands and subsebaceous glands are also situated in the eyelids. These glands open into the follicle of cilia. Infection of these glands leads to the development of the condition known as the stye. In this picture, here you see the development of stye, this one and this one. Both the eyelids have the infection, and it shows and this picture shows the development of stye on both the upper lid and the lower lid. These are actually the eyelids, upper eyelids and lower eyelids. Opening between the two eyelids is known as the palpebral fissure. This one is the opening. In adults, it is about 25 mm long and its width is about 12 to 15 mm when opened. Next is the conjunctiva. It is thin mucous membrane that covers the exposed part of the eye. After covering the interior surface, the conjunctiva is reflected to the inner surface of the eye. After covering the anterior surface, it is reflected to the inner surface of the eye. The portion of the conjunctiva that covers the whole interior surface is known as its bulbar portion, and the portion that covers the eyelids is known as the palpebral portion. The surface of conjunctiva is lubricated by the thin film of tears secreted by the lacrimal gland. Next, lacrimal gland. Lacrimal gland is situated in the shelter of the bone, forming the upper and outer border of the eye socket. From the lacrimal gland, here is shown the lacrimal gland. Here is shown the lacrimal gland that forms the outer wall of the eye. From here, the tears flows into the lacrimal sac, and then it is drained into the nose through the nasolacrimal duct. Tear is hypertonic fluid. Due to its continuous washing and lubrication, the conjunctiva is kept moist and is protected from the infection. Tear also contains lysozyme that kills the bacteria. Secretion of the tear is controlled by the parasympathetic fibers of the 7th cranial nerve, that is the facial nerve. Next, we will study the wall of the eyeball. The wall of the eyeball is composed of three layers. Outer layer, which includes cornea and sclera, as I have already told you. The middle layer, which includes choroid, ciliary body and iris, and the inner layer, that is the retina. Outer layer, also known as the tunica externa or tunica fibrosa. What are the functions of the outer layer? It preserves the shape of the eyeball. Posterior fifth sixth of this coat is opaque and is known as the sclera, and anterior 1/6 is transparent and is known as the cornea. Here is shown the sclera. Outer fifth sixth is the sclera, and that is the opaque structure of the eye, and anterior one is the cornea, that is the here is shown the cornea, that is the anterior structure, forms the anterior part, that is the transparent part of the outer wall of the eyeball. What is the function of the sclera? It is tough, white, fibrous outer layer of the eyeball that covers the posterior fifth sixth of the eye. Anteriorly it is continuous with the cornea. Sclera is formed by the white fibrous tissue and elastic fibers. Posterior part of the sclera is pierced by the optic nerve through a hole into the sclera that is occupied by the mesh-like structure. It is named as the lamina cribrosa. Cornea. Cornea is the transparent convex interior portion of the outer layer of the eyeball which covers the iris and the pupil. Sclera overlaps the cornea at its periphery and appears in front as white of the eye. Diameter of cornea is 12 mm horizontally and 11 mm vertically. Cornea plays the very important role as it has the refractive index of 1.376. It is very sensitive to pain, touch, pressure and cold. Normally, cornea is not vascularized. Therefore, it derives nourishment mainly from the aqueous humor. This picture shows the basic layers of all the histological picture of the cornea. This shows the epithelium, Bowman's layer, then stroma, Descemet's membrane and endothelium, as already you have studied in the histology. Next, middle layer or tunica media or tunica vasculosa. Middle layer surrounds the eyeball completely except for a small opening in front that is known as the pupil. This layer comprises of the three structures: choroid, ciliary body and iris. Now we will study the basic structures and functions of all these layers. First of all, choroid. It is thin vascular layer of eyeball situated between the sclera and retina. It forms the posterior fifth sixth of the middle layer. Choroid is extended anteriorly up to the insertion of ciliary muscle, the level of ora serrata. Choroid is separated from the sclera by the perichondrial space. Anteriorly, this space is limited by the insertion of ciliary muscle into the sclera. Posteriorly, this space ends at short distance from the optic nerve. Inner surface of the choroid faces the pigment epithelium of the retina. Choroid is composed of rich capillary plexus, numerous small arteries and veins. Here is shown the choroid. This is the middle layer of the wall of the eyeball. Anteriorly, it is continuous with the iris and the ciliary body. Ciliary body. It is the thickened anterior part of the middle layer of the eye situated between the choroid and the retina. Here is shown the ciliary body. It's situated between the choroid and the iris. Since suspensory ligaments from the lens are attached to the ciliary body, anterior surface of the ciliary body faces towards the center of the cornea. From this surface, the iris arises. Ciliary body has three parts. Number 1, orbicularis ciliaris. It is continuous with the choroid and it forms the posterior 2/3 of the ciliary body. It is about 4 mm broad. Then ciliary body proper, second part. It is made up of two ciliary muscles, namely mainly outer longitudinal and inner circular muscles. That muscles plays the important role in the movement of the eyes. Ciliary muscles are innervated by the parasympathetic fibers of the third cranial nerve, that is the oculomotor nerve. Then is the ciliary processes. Ciliary processes are the finger-like projections from inner surface of the ciliary body. There are about 70 ciliary processes projecting towards the central axis of the eye to form the radial fringes called corona ciliaris. Next is the important structure of the eye is the iris. Iris is thin colored curtain-like structure of the eyeball located in front of the lens. It forms the circular diaphragm with circular opening in the center called pupil. Iris is formed by the muscles. Number 1 muscle is the constrictor pupillae, that is also known as the iris sphincter muscle or pupillary constrictor muscle. It is formed by the circular muscle fibers. Contraction of this muscle causes the constriction of the pupil. Here is very important point that constrictor pupillae leads to the constriction of the pupil. Number 2, dilator pupillary, also known as pupillary dilator muscle. It is formed by the radial muscle fibers. Contraction of this muscle causes the dilation of the pupil. Activities of these muscles increases or decreases the diameter of pupil and therefore it regulates the amount of light entering the eye. Thus, iris plays the important role and it acts like the diaphragm of camera. Iris also separates the space between the cornea and the lens into the two. Here is shown the iris. This brown part of the eye is the iris. This one is the pupil and white one is the sclera. This is the front view of the eye. As I have already told you that it separates the space between the cornea and the lens into the anterior and the posterior chambers. Both the chambers communicate with each other through the pupil. Lateral border of the anterior chamber is angular in shape. It is called the iris angle or angle of the anterior chamber. This angle is very important when we study the pathology of the eye, that one of the pathological disease in the eye, that is the glaucoma, where this angle is narrowed. Here is the all the slides overview of all the previous lecture, showing the all the 3 layers with basic components and their muscles and the histological picture of all the layers of the wall of the eyeball. This was all about my first lecture. Thank you so much. Best wishes.